Unplugged with Nicki Marie. Welcome back to a midweek mashup. I don't even know what a midweek mashup is versus a regular episode, but we're figuring this out. I'm just having fun with it.
We're trying to relive our youth.
Relive our youth. Derek Cahill is the guest today. And I mean, let's just put it this way. I rolled into Derek's DMs. He has a wife. This is I slid in. This is appropriate. The wife already knows.
We're from Utah. We're not.
So I slid into his DMs and I'm like, oh my God, I love your humor. People were sending me his videos saying he's like the male version of you. And that was a complete compliment because your comedic delivery is so freaking good. So Derek is known for his comedy. He's taken his comedy onto the road. He has a failing chocolate business, which he just owns that in a comedic way as well. And we're just going to chat today, both from Massachusetts.
Hell yeah. 781 Lynn represent, dude. The hood of hoods.
Right? So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, for starters, the chocolate company is no longer failing.
Oh.
Because it's dead. It failed. So it's gone.
I have some. I bought some.
I know. I got 3 big boxes delivered to me, and I think I just got rid of the last of it. But we shut it down September 30th. So that's nail in the coffin.
But hasn't it led to other beautiful things for you?
Yeah. No, like it let me see like the really dark side of depression and anxiety and hating myself. And you know, how can you really love yourself until you know that you don't, you know? No, it's cool, dude. I love, dude, we crushed it objectively. Like that brand, my wife and I started that in our kitchen with $700 and lifetime sales. We did like 2 million. So like, I kind of fucking feel cool about what we built.
Absolutely. But you tell most people 2 million and they're like, dude, you made it. But people who have never started a business or run their own shit think that that's where you've gone. You've made
it. I remember being young. I've always been super entrepreneurial. I actually have a notebook I found. It's so stupid. One of I think it was like a 2-year goal. I was like 19 and impoverished. And my 2-year goal was just be a millionaire. It's like, all right, you fucking idiot, dude. Like you thought things were so much easier. But yeah, dude, I used to think like $1 million company, like you were balling out of control. And we did almost $1 million last year alone. And I've never been more poor as a business. Like the bit had no money at all.
Wild. Like how? If you could wrap it up in a 30-second bow, how?
Because at the same time, I was talking to a buddy last night. It's just America. It's the problem that we all have with like more, bigger. So as we're making all this money, we're just investing it back into growing more. Instead of like, if I could do it all over again, and I'd have to like be an oracle and see what the future held, I would have never gone to retail. I would have just kept selling it e-commerce. Yep. And just fucking chilled, bro. Because if we did 1 million e-commerce, I would be balling out of fucking control right now. But instead, I gave it all to fucking Walmart and Sprouts and Whole Foods and all these fucking shitty companies that stored our chocolate. And I got none of it. I mean, none. I maybe on $1 million last year, I probably wrote myself a total of like $8,000 of like my own income.
Wild. I mean, that's fun fact, before being online, I was a consultant for founders for small brands. And that was always the case. You had the founders who were like, we are just going e-com and cleaning up like 17 million in sales on e-com. And then the other ones are like, we got to be omni-channel. We got to do all the stuff.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. And I love that you're still wearing the sweatshirt. He's wearing the gear right now.
Only because this morning it's raining here a little bit. And over the weekend, we got probably fucking 40 bags of leaves and it was raining on them. Yeah. So I have this awning in the backyard, but it's like a homeless one, like one of the ones you see at like a farmer's market. And I was putting a bag under it and bumped it, and it poured like 3 gallons of water all over my Fuck This House hoodie. So
I was going to say, is that a Fuck This House episode coming up?
Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, so he's got a series called Fuck This House, and it's just brilliant. And I think that's when I reached out to you too. I was like, Lowe's or Home Depot, somebody needs to sponsor this.
I say fuck too much. No one wants to play with me.
Listen, the sad part is my online career started off with a lot more F-bombs, and I'd had to pull them back because you got to do the thing. And you are my reminder to just unleash. Your reminder to be unapologetic. So I want to go right into this because you are honest in like the funniest way. So here's how I'll reverse engineer this is I can tell that you're a total family man. I can tell you live for your kids and wife, but you're
Slay.
also very funny about the shit that happens in your home, and you deliver it, and you get lots of people who are like there with you like, oh,
Yeah.
thank goodness, but then you get a little bit of the
Well, it's
judgment.
the same way that you present yourself online without all the F words. It's just like, fuck you, come for me, bitch. Like I think the people that are trying to put off this everything's perfect, those are the ones that are like fucking locking their kids in like dungeons at homes and shit. It's like, you fucking had your carrot for lunch. Get the fuck back in your room. Those are the crazy people that are like hitting their wives and shit, okay? And those people suss me out real bad, dude. You show me someone that's like, dude, having kids fucking sucks. It's like, oh, you're the best dad on the planet.
And two things can be true. I mean, there are so many things that I know I could say that would be so funny, and I hold back. And then you're the one, this is what people listening to this don't know. You're the one that I'll go into your DMs and be like, Derek, someone was mean to me. Look at this comment. What do I say? And
I
you're like,
know.
fuck them.
Well, I think that's one of the problems I see, especially with people that, and I don't think you go out of your way to be wholesome by any means, but like I do have some internet friends that do make more like wholesome content, and the fucking judgment that they will get if they slip up and be a little bit overly honest is crazy. Like people DM you like, oh, I'm so disappointed. It's like, fucking suck my balls, Linda. You think I give a fuck about what you have to say about me? And that's why I don't think I get a lot of it, because like everyone that's with me is like they already know the vibe. But when you try to be a little bit nicey and then you let something slip, your whole tribe is like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
fuck
I,
them.
I think I have this like, it's to my detriment at this point though, but growing up in business, in sports, I came from the divorced home. So I have
I
like
can
the
tell.
chameleon aspect. But I've got the chameleon aspect to me. Like my dad's side of the family is completely different than the mom's side. So I was used to like, I know you got to turn. Sometimes the humor and the boldness is on, and then there's other times you got to turn it off. And I think I do the same thing. It's like I got co-parenting through my audience. My audience is co-parenting me. You get the Italian
I
crazy
used to
side.
be the same way, like very chameleon-y. My
You
parents
come
didn't get
from divorce.
divorced. No, I come from drug addiction,
Okay.
and they should have divorced, so I got to see what it looks like when they stay together, which is horrific.
Wow.
But it was the same thing. Like my early 20s was very chameleon. Like I was a VP of sales at like a huge global tech company, and you wouldn't have fucking known like the thoughts in my brain, because I was suit and tie. I was like, let's take this shit seriously, because I'd put on a mask. And then, dude, I was there for like 5 years. This was right before I think I broke mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally because I was like, I gave everything to this company, and I started like losing my fucking mind. I got to VP, and I was just surrounded by everyone that was a bunch of fucking idiots. I wanted nothing to do with them. I was like, this is who I aspired to become, these fucking dipshits. And that started like a years long journey of like stopping that chameleon shit. Like, I'm not gonna change me, because when I was finally next to all the people that I used to want to become, I was like, oh, these fucking guys suck dick. Like, these are horrific people.
I didn't know this about you, and I feel like I've lived some of that. I totally get it. And it was like, how are you climbing the corporate ladder? Like you have to play the game.
Yeah, and
And
I
we were
will
playing it.
never play the game again, dude.
I
Like,
won't either.
I'm the game now.
That's the high five right now. We're the
Fucking boom.
game.
Yeah, dude.
So hold on, because this is I didn't expect us to go here. But if you're talking right now, you have listeners who are like, I love that, but I have no idea how to get out of this grind that I'm in. What would you say?
You got to be crazy, dude. There is no roadmap. You got to be a fucking psychopath a little bit. Dude, I mean, it is glamorous as a big picture, right? Like, oh, they're, comedian and the followers, and I'm making this past year, dude, made good money doing comedy and shit. But from 2020 to now, it's been fucking up and down, dude. Like, starting that chocolate company, when I quit corporate America, I did consulting for a little bit. That fucking sucked. I got one more full-time job over this journey, and this all the 4 years was like these little risks that I would take, and I'd jump and see if I could swim. Couldn't swim. I'd have to crawl back to shore, get a job. Dude, we almost lost our house a couple times.
Wow.
And it was never like, it was never intentional. It was just the way my brain has always worked this way. It's always been very like climb, build. So when I did that at corporate America, there's this really good book called The Second Mountain. It gets a little like religious, which I didn't like, but the overall message is really good. It's this concept of like there's two mountains in life. The first mountain is this accumulation of wealth. Like let's build, let's VP of sales, new car, new truck, blah, 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 blah. The second mountain is when you realize that none of that shit matters. And it's about pursuing like what fills your cup. And that is a really simple way of explaining like my last 5 years was slowly leaving that mountain for the next one. And that came with doubling down on Wicked Bold. We opened a restaurant. I started being so much more honest with myself, dude. Like when I got that job, I had 1 full year where I went and was an individual contributor in sales because I fucking crush it in sales. Dude, I've never been more honest with anyone in my entire life. I ended up getting fired on the most amicable terms you could ever imagine at the end of that year because I was building Wicked Bold at the same time. We did our mid-year review. He was like, hey, dude, you didn't fill out the career aspirations. I was like, yeah, because I don't fucking have any with you guys. Like, I'm only here to make money and do my job, and that's it. And he was like, all right, cool, I can respect that. And it felt so good being honest. Like, I didn't play the fucking game. No carrots could dangle me, no promotions, no team. I didn't want shit from them. I just wanted to come make a paycheck. And it felt so liberating, especially in sales where it's all about that, like, you want to grow, you want to be promoted, you want to become a manager. And it's like, no, I don't, you fucking piece of shit.
But did becoming a dad have anything to do with that?
Becoming a dad, I think was when I left like my full blown disabled brain behind and I started taking life a lot more seriously. Like I've always been a hustler. Like forever, dude, I've been starting little side hustles. So having a kid, I think, took me like this year. If I had this year and I didn't have kids in Brooklyn and stuff, I'd probably have died of like alcoholism or something. Like there's no way that old Derek would have ever died off. It just would have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. So I think I just took life a lot more seriously when I had kids.
So take me back to like little Derek. Have you always been imaginative and a big dreamer and a big thinker? Did you always know you were?
No, it's actually so sad to think about little Derek because I didn't even know what life was. Like my parents were super addicted to drugs. They both died when I was in my early 20s. Like I moved out of the house when I was 16. It was survival. Like all I wanted to do was like survive. But when I reflect back on all the ways I used to think, I always was a big thinker. Dude, I remember I was like 17 or 18. I worked at Taco Bell and I wanted to become the manager of Taco Bell. Like that was my dream. I was like, I'm going to be the manager of this. And my girlfriend at the time was like, what the fuck? Which like I get now, but at the time I was like, yo, bitch, I'm fucking going to hustle. My manager at the time. So this is the person I aspired to become, which is hilarious that I didn't think about it at the time. He was like a toothless meth addict, was the manager of my Taco Bell. And that's who I wanted. That's who I aspired to become. So I can see these little glimmers of who Derek was, but like he was under like 6 feet of soot. And had to like work. I had to like kind of work my way out of all that shit.
Wow. I didn't expect to feel emotional talking to you. I thought we were going to be laughing the whole time, but now my mama instincts are like, how did you come out of that to become, I mean, you didn't have a good role model.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't thought about this in a long time, but I like found step role models for myself in motivational speakers like Les Brown and Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas. And I would literally drive where like, instead of listening to music on my drives, I would listen to these dudes fucking scream like, you're gonna do it. Like that would be my music, dude. And like, I feel like that did something to my brain in my early, like hearing that and saying it, dude, I would like cry at red lights listening to like Les Brown talk about if anyone's gonna make it happen, you're gonna make it. Like I would get emotional, like believing it for myself. So I found like I made role models for myself inadvertently. I don't think I was doing it on purpose at the time, but when I reflect back, like that's who I looked up to in the
Wow.
absence of someone in real life.
Wow. Now, do you get messages like that? Like, I don't know that many people know this side of you. So,
I've done some podcasts where I talk about it, but I'm not
yeah,
doing fucking podcasts with like, famous fucking like
Nicki,
13
right?
people listen 13 people listen to the episode. So it's like they're out there. I get a lot of DMs from people just about like which is cool, like my deep ones, bro, like you got me
Yeah.
through some dark times, or you make me feel normal as a parent. That shit's so cool, like, because that's the stuff I think you can forget about when you're in the grind of like writing or doing comedy or doing your videos. It becomes almost like this little job you have. And then you get these messages, I'm sure you get them too, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
oh shit, this
Yeah.
actually means
Deep.
a little bit more to some people.
Really deep. Like I straight up cried this morning. When I say, oh, I cried, usually it's like I get a little choked up and I like keep my shit together. This morning, I don't know what it was. There was this woman who sent me a note. She's like, I don't think you'll ever get this. Right. So that approach always gets me because I'm like, oh, they don't think I'm going to see it. And it's like, I don't think you're going to get this, but I just need to let you know that this moment, she said, and there was a picture below it, this moment wouldn't have happened without you. You pushed me. And it was her with her kid at Disney
Oh,
as
that's
a single
cool.
mom. And I was like, ah! Just seeing the picture and knowing like I got her to go on that trip. I got her to feel brave enough to leave a bad marriage. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not an advocate for divorce, but I
fuck
am an
'em.
advocate for happiness, and that shit gets me, man. I can't believe you and I get to do this.
I know,
You
it is
ever feel like
crazy.
that?
Yeah, no, I feel so fortunate, dude. Like it's crazy to look at like the road. So when you said like, oh, people that are listening, this isn't a road. We aren't on a street, bro. We are fucking homeless vagrants just wandering the planet, and like we got lucky enough that we found something that looked like a path.
Yeah.
That's actually, there's a quote. I can't remember who said it, but it was one. I love quotes, dude. And recently I read one that said, the way that you know that you're on the right path is if you look down and there isn't one. Isn't that a little powerful?
That
Especially for someone like me.
That describes like if anybody said, oh, when people ask me, oh, how did you become a content creator? I'm like, it just like, that's the best way to describe it. I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking this out. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a content creator. I got to have a viral
Oh,
moment.
dude,
I got to.
that's what I'm so scared about for like my teenager, because like, and all teens, because they think that this is a career path, and it's not. I still like, we can make money doing it, but it's not a career path. Like, there's no steps, there's no promotions. It's like, just, you want to do it, cool. Just start fucking posting videos and see what happens, and like see if you can make it happen. But people that are like foregoing college or like building a career to do this, it's like, oh, that's fucking terrifying, dude.
Terrifying, right? It's fun. It's definitely, there's a crazy amount of money.
You got to do it for fun.
Yeah, but there's a crazy amount of money in it. But
For sure.
But none of us know how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
None of us know how the industry is going to change. So yeah, ride the wave, baby. It's like there's no path for me. I'm riding a wave and I have no idea where it's going.
Yeah, it's scary sometimes, but it's also like in a part like really healing to like let go of like just trust the journey that you're, trust that the wind is in the sails and shit, and it's just moving you in the right direction. I'm very much in that stage of life right now where it's like, fuck it, dude, let's see where it takes me.
I love it. Have you total change of subject. Have you looked at your Spotify Wrapped?
I did Brooklyn brought it up and I did look at it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure.
What's on it? What's going on?
Noah Khan was number one, which I was a little bit surprised at. Good musician. I was shocked that he was number one. And then I thought for sure All American Rejects would be number one. They were number 3 for me.
Wait, wasn't that one of your meetings? Wasn't that one of your?
That was one of my squad this year. Yeah.
Yes.
That was the coolest fucking that's the first and only time in my life, my recent life, that like I feel like I like leveraged my internet fame was to get backstage with them.
That's amazing.
Number 2 was Zach Bryan, which I was upset about with all the things that are going on with Brianna Chicken Fry. I actually was like, oh, you fucking piece of shit, but I do like he does make some good music.
He does, and it's tough. I listen to him all the time, and I'm like, wow, I know this type of guy. I know this.
Oh my God, he looks like it too. He's like, oh, you fucking dumb piece of shit. He's the guy that like at 50 is still gonna be like chugging PBRs.
He's just mad.
He has one of those
Mad.
things on his keychain that poke a hole so you can shotgun it.
I know his type. I know exactly.
Everyone
I know
knows
the
his
crowd,
fucking type.
right? But when she's talking about it, and she is, luckily they don't have kids together, because I feel like once you start sharing the dirt when you have kids, it's ugly for the kids. I'm glad they don't have kids together, and she can help a lot of people with her message. But Zach,
you fucking cunt.
I don't even think that therapy works for that type of person.
No, well, he's young too. I think he's like 26 or 27, something like that. And that's just such a symptom of like being told you're amazing your whole fucking life. Like no one's ever talked shit, and you just think you're fucking amazing. It's like, dude, all right, like you play good music,
you
but
feel like such shit about yourself. So like I as a parent, let's talk about parenthood. Oh wait, back to the Wrapped.
Yeah, go.
I'm like, I've completely had this picture of my life as a mother, and it would be like I would still be an independent human. My kids run the show. So even my Wrapped, I like.
It's so funny because Brooklyn's is the same way.
This is my kids' playlist.
It's a reflection of our children's music, is my wife's.
And I love now though, we've gotten over the Cocomelon, over the zombies, over the Anna Elsa stuff, right? And now we're into Sabrina Carpenter.
Dude, Mark and Bohr.
Chappelle Rowan. By the way, they do like some old school like Imagine Dragons and what is it? Josie's on a vacation.
Oh yeah, okay. They got some good taste.
My kids got some good taste in there, but I'm like, this is literally a depiction.
Yeah, Brooklyn's, I think the number one song was Belong Together by the Mark and Bohr. Yeah. Oh yeah. Rowan on fucking repeat, dude. Was that song.
All right. So talk about your kids. Do they like each other? What are their ages? Like, what's the dynamic of sibling affairs at the Cahill household?
I feel like we've got a bunch of only children attitudes. Because Landon's 15 and Ophelia's 8. So that's an odd age dynamic. And then Ophelia's 8 and Rowan just turned 3 a couple days ago. And everyone fights. No one gets along ever. Ever. Landon just fucking up in his room 24/7 on video games. I have to like fucking fight and threaten him to come spend time with the family. But our kids, especially Ophelia and Rowan, are like such stereotypical girl and boy. Like Ophelia fucking wants her nails done. I took her to Target the other night and we walked by something. She goes, "Oh, that would look amazing with my black tights." And I was like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, where did you even learn this from?" And then Rowan is 3. He's the kid. He's like jumping off shit. Fucking, he puts on a boxing glove and I have to shield he will beat the fuck out of me with a boxing glove. They're crazy. I love them. But they are fucking insane. And they never, ever shut the fuck up. None of them. It's nonstop. Sometimes I look at my wife, I'm like, are you fucking shitting my dick right now? Like, I can't even think. I can't even hear myself think because these get mama, dad, 24/7, something. It's fucking insane.
What is it like? Because I don't have a teenager yet. I have Layla is 10 going on 27. She's got a babysitters club meeting happening here tomorrow that I know nothing about. And I said, do any of the parents know? And I said, because I know this isn't about a business plan. Like, you're not going to who's going to hire a 10-year-old? Flyers to walk dogs, not one callback. I said, Layla, because people like their dogs better than their kids at times. Yeah. Like, they're not trusting you with their dog. So what's the game plan next? I love the entrepreneurial spirit, but she's also needs to make money immediately because the fashion sense and the things she's into.
Ophelia asked me, do they make fake eyelashes for children?
Oh, yeah. No, Layla wants eyelash. All of it. Yeah. They'd get along great. They'd get along great. But what is it like to have a teenager? Like, what's he like?
He is a really, really good kid. Really, especially if I'm comparing myself to him at 15. Like, I was a lost little kid, and he's fucking, he knows his shit. He plays football. He's doing well in school. He's got a girlfriend. He loves video games. Yeah. But being 15 now, the last probably year or two, he's really starting to flex on me a little bit, and that's a little challenging because it's like I want him to be, he has to become a man, and part of that is going to be challenging me and why this. So it's been a learning process for me to let some things slide, let some things go. Like, he's asking me, he's like, hey man, fucking, I think, I'm 15 now, okay? And I'm like, all right. In my head, I'm like, shut the, whatever you're gonna say is probably a fucking no already. You trying, what is this, a fucking business meeting? Listen, I've been reflecting. He wants to keep his phone in his room past 10:30. I make him bring all his shit downstairs at 10:30.
Yes, good for you.
And he's like, I think that I should be allowed to fucking keep my phone in my room all night. And I'm like, for what, bitch? He's like, FaceTime my girlfriend and I could be trusted. It's like, fucking 3 weeks ago, dude, I cut you up at like 1 o'clock in the morning on something. That was fucking 3 weeks ago. I'm fucking so much different now. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking literally beat you to death. So that's what it's like with him. Just the teenage brain of like live fast, die young kind of thing. It's like, yeah.
I do love that you have that rule though of the no phones, because they could be up all night. You and I didn't have to worry about that
kids
stuff.
now they fucking FaceTime sleep together. Like, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to fall asleep with his girlfriend on FaceTime. I'm like, first of all,
hey, think back.
No
phone.
I listen. I get I get it, but every fucking night I was like, "That's fucking weird, bro. That's weird. That's too much. That's too much." I had to hit him with a quote from my nana. I was like, "Listen, dude, absence makes the heart grow fonder. All right, my guy. Like, you need to fucking chill." But that's all it is. He's got this huge playground. Everything. He got unlimited boundaries, and all he ever wants to pay attention to is the ones he doesn't have. It's like, dude, why the fuck is my bedtime? Like, I just put Verizon a stop at 10:30 on his phone, and he found out. And he's like, why the fuck do I have this? I was like, why does it matter? Your bedtime, you're off your phone at 10:30 anyway. He's like, yeah, it's just kind of bullshit. And I'm thinking in my head, it's like, yeah, because you want to fucking cheat, bitch. Like, because you want to be up past your bedtime and cheat.
And then be tired. Like, I don't think you realize, like, because you're funny and you're right. Your online presence is like, but I love hearing that there are boundaries. I think so many parents like don't know. I don't want to say it the wrong way. Don't know how to parent, but it's like they're afraid for their kids to be upset with them.
It is hard, dude. I
know it's
worry.
hard.
I don't like my kids. Like, I don't like. It's difficult, dude, because I also don't have a good frame of reference. Like my parents were fucking horrific, so I don't even have like a benchmark to be like, oh, how am I doing? Everything is amazing compared to how my parents were.
Yeah. So
when I start like laying down boundaries or ground rules with all of the kids, and they get like angry or upset or whatever, I'm like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Like, was I going too far? Should I have this boundary? I mean, I've been pretty tight with Landon on his boundary of like this 10:30. His electronics are 10:30. He can stay up till 11 if whatever. I always fuck with him. I'm like, dude, you can like color, you can write poetry. He's like, I don't want to fucking do any of those things. But I also, there's a thing I heard a couple of years ago where it's like, you don't need to justify shit to your kids, all the time. Mm-hmm. So when he said something to me about the 10:30, like staying up later, I was like, no. He was like, why not? And I was like, I don't fucking have a reason for you other than no, bitch. Like, that's my answer. It's just, it's a hard pass. No.
Yeah. Every kid that I know that goes off to college and their parents had boundaries for the phone and the time, they're like, I'm so glad. Because there gets to be a point where it's just too much. You and I didn't grow up with this, and don't you feel sometimes like you would love to go back in time without this?
Dude, it's so hyper connectivity, like so much connectivity and dude, I get mad now at shitty comments. Like, I can't imagine being 15 without a fully formed brain hearing people tell me I'm a piece of shit. Like, so I try to keep Landon off social media, but he's sneaked his way through, and I've just like, all right, fuck it, let it happen. Because he is he's a good kid. He thinks drinking is horrible, smoking is horrible. So it's like, all right, cool. Like, fucking square. But
yes. So what would you say your parenting style is?
I'm probably, I don't know, man. I'd probably bucket myself under like gentle-ish, where it's like I have firm boundaries, right? Like, if I like, one of the things that I don't do is like, I fucking hate repeating myself on like a rule or a boundary. Like, if they ask me again, I'm like, am I speaking out loud here? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this isn't a negotiation. And Ophelia tests me on that a lot. And it's challenging because it's like, all right, cool. Like, I love me a strong, independent young woman. Like, let's keep doing that. Just like chill on me a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to come in with that tone, but
yeah, but I also I know how to apologize. Right? Yeah, if I do overreact or whatever, I know, like, pretty soon thereafter, I'm like, I overdid it. Answer's still fucking no, but
but that's huge, Derek.
Yeah, if I parent, I would say 90% of the time, so that my kids want to hang out with me when they're older. Right? Like, that's my mission. Is I just
they are who they are. right? And I think it's like I heard on a podcast, like the things that you're responsible for when your kids are like born through 13 years old is like consistency, love, a foundation, security. It's all these things that are like our natural instincts.
Yeah.
And all the rest is like,
Yeah. Well, with
noise.
Landon now, I feel, and I'm saying this out loud for the first time, the way I feel about it, it's like it's my responsibility to make sure that we have a good relationship. It's not his responsibility to make sure that we have a good relationship. So it makes me be mindful of like the way I'm parenting him. Like, so when I say like there's like this power struggle, I want to be mindful that I don't hold on too tight so that he fucking rips away from me and doesn't want to talk to me for fucking 3 years when he's 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
I want to be the phone call if he goes to a party and his driver gets drunk or he gets drunk. I want him to call me.
Absolutely.
I don't want him to be like, oh, fuck, my dad's going to be mad. It's the same thing with like curfews. It's like the other night he came home, not fucking stupid late, but it was like he was supposed to be home at 10. He came home at 10:30. I was playing a game. And I didn't even notice that it was 10:30. But when he came home, I noticed that he hadn't called or texted me. And I had him come in the room, and I didn't get angry at him. I didn't ground him. I was just like, dude, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. If you're going to be late, just tell me you're going to be late. Like, don't let me fucking look at my phone and you're not here kind of thing. And I feel like those little micro moments are like the cool building blocks in a relationship with your kid, when it's like you can kind of meet them at their level and be like, dude, we're cool. Just this is what I was thinking about it. All right, now get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. You seem like like you also know how to have the fun factor. I think it's like I don't have everything figured out with my kids, but I show up. I love the shit out of them and I'm fun. I make things fun. Even when my daughter's struggling with homework, I'm like, okay, I understand that this is so boring. Let's make it fun. And she's like, Mom. And then it comes around like it's
you give that fun mom vibe.
Yeah, but I love that you said you are responsible for the relationship you want to have with your kids.
Yeah, dude, if your kid's 25 and doesn't want anything to fucking do with you, that's a you problem, not a your kid problem.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Now, listen, could they be also probably a little bit of a piece of shit? Maybe.
Absolutely.
But it's at worst case scenario, it's a 50-50 split.
We'll blame it on the other side of the genetics. We'll blame it on dad.
Yeah, Landon he still gives me hugs, and I think that's a big sign. 15-year-old boy still giving me hugs. He talks to me about stuff, so it's like, all right, dude, we're on the right path.
How does he feel about you being on social media?
I don't think he really gives a shit. Like, I always felt with him, like, dude, you want my autograph? He's like, I don't want your fucking autograph. But I think some of his friends think it's cool.
Yeah.
But we don't ever really talk about it. Like cool, like if Landon ever wants to be in a video, or if I've actually slowed down when he got like 13, 14, I kind of stopped sharing a lot of the frustrations about him, because like his friends were now on social media and his friends could find.
Yes.
So I started being really mindful of like what I shared, because if it was really embarrassing, like I'm not gonna. So I always ask his permission. It's like, hey, dude, this is the video I want to make. Yes. Cool if I post it. And he's usually pretty cool with it. That could also be financially driven, because I cut him in on the videos about him.
Hey, everything you're saying, awesome. Because kids, you see some families, their kids are the freaking, whoa. I'm like uncomfortable, but I'm with you. Layla hit 4th grade and I was like, oh, okay. She's not like, we're not home during COVID. She's not in kindergarten. My son's now in school. So everything changed content wise for me too, based on my kids' community.
Yeah. As long as it's generalized, I'll share it. Like, oh, this motherfucker come home late. He has zeros. Like, I'll share stuff like that. But like anything that happens like privately at the house now, it's like, that's usually just
you're
off
not
limits.
Chasing him around, having his every moment filmed like some.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh, dude, I think that's so weird. The parents that make their content and it's dangerous, bro. Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah, no, I've seen, and it's so funny. I've become like the YouTube family warden to my kids. I'm like, do you understand? They didn't pay for this. That Taco Bell spread is sponsored and you don't know it. And this is also creepy that this kid's losing her first tooth and the mom's documenting the whole thing.
God,
I'm like,
we
have a private moment.
Yeah.
Please.
Ophelia,
so
though,
kids were like, Mom,
I wish that social media wasn't such a scary place for children, because Ophelia was born for the camera. That girl, since she was like 3, if there's a camera anywhere, she goes, subscribe to my channel.
But that's how my kids are too. And you know what I'm ended up? I don't want to give it away, but I was considering getting them Where is it? I got this little Osmo. It's too expensive for them, but it's a little vlogging. You know, the little, they look like GoPros.
Okay.
The Osmo has this, like, it's got the little gimbal
I
thing.
should give her that and just record his
But
family
that's
moments.
where it's like, I'm remembering that I want them to still capture this stuff and to know that not everything is for social media. We
Yeah.
have family videos. The reason that I ended up good at this was because I had a camcorder in my damn hands all through like the late 80s, early 90s. And like
In
those
the
were
late
not,
80s, I was born.
you know what, Daryl? Keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah. So I think, so back to like, how did you get the public facing voice? Like, where did you become comfortable with the camera, getting on a microphone in front of a crowd? Like, that's a big
Well, I did
deal.
my first comedy open mic like 13 or 14 years ago. And I'd done like small performance. I was in theater arts in high school. I was the MC at like my middle school talent show. I don't ever remember where it came from though, you know? Like I remember one of the first comics I ever saw was Robin Williams. And
Yes.
maybe that planted a seed of like performing because I remember watching him. It was this golf joke, and I was like, "This is fucking." I was like 11. I was like, "This is fucking hilarious." I showed my dad, but the first time I ever said on stage, it's just something that I think was in me, kinda. Because the first open mic I ever did, I was really nervous before I got on stage. Like, oh, you're gonna remember your thing. You're gonna be funny. But as soon as I got on stage, like everything went really quiet. Right, like I felt very calm. It was because my heart was pounding on the way to the stage, but as soon as like I got on stage, it all went away. It was really, really crazy feeling. So I kind of, when you add that into now like this social media world, I think it was kind of second nature to just like talk, and that's how it was. I'd quit everything for a really long time when I was doing like corporate America and stuff. I'd stopped writing. I stopped doing open mics. I went like full blown. You're going to be a grown up. You're just going to work now. And then I started this chocolate company. The first year I got promoted to VP, and it was like I think it was 2020 or early 2021. Whatever, one of them. I posted a video being funny for the chocolate, and it got like 5,000 views on YouTube. I was like, oh shit. Okay, people be liking you. And dude, that is what kind of spurred me just making dumb videos, which I thought were hilarious, and they never got loved as much as they should have. But then I got the enterprise video where I was returning the car. That was the first viral video ever. That was nuts.
Okay, I gotta go back and see that. I don't think I
Oh, you never
remember.
saw it? Dude,
I
I
don't
mean,
think
half the
so.
fucking world saw that video. My sister was calling me from like Arkansas being like, dude, they were just talking about you on the radio.
I have
It
to
got
look
like
that up.
26 million views on TikTok. It was crazy. But this is a really good piece of feedback for anyone that like wants to get into this.
Yeah.
I was really happy and fortunate in retrospect that I've lived the life I've lived before that happened, because that video was like right in the beginning phases of me wanting to let go of living for other people. And here I am, 20 something million views. I'm returning a car to Enterprise. I answered their phone. It blew up on the internet. And it made me start thinking like, that's not I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to other stores, because I thought I was like, oh, should I go do this at other stores? It's like, I'm fucking like 30 years old, dude. I'm not going around answering phones. I have children. I'm not going around answering phones at Walmart like an asshole. And I had to look at all this attention and literally say no to it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep, because that video wasn't planned. It wasn't like I scripted it. It was just what I thought was funny. I did it. I posted it. The world thought it was funny. And I let that be my beacon. What I think, and it was a really big shift too, because even in my early writing for comedy, I would write what I thought other people would think was funny.
Yeah.
And now I didn't know it at the time, but this was my first comedic shift of writing what I think is funny and letting other people enjoy it. It has been and I'm still kind of learning it now. I'm not done, but I just started looking at my content from that moment. I was like, no, I'm just going to keep doing the dumb shit that I do. And if they want to stick around, cool. If it wants to keep growing, cool. If not, I'm not chasing the dragon, because I did that for so long. Money was my dragon. sales and VP of sales and manager and fucking all this money. That was the drive. I didn't want to trade in money for followers and views and likes and comments.
Yep.
And it's been a really, I'm sure you deal with it too. Like, you can rattle sometimes, like if the algorithm is fucking with you a little bit, which I'm in the middle of right now, the algorithm fucking being a little bit of a bitch to me.
Yeah.
I always try to find that center in me again to be like, it's not about that, you fucking bitch. It's about you releasing the shit from inside your body. That's what it's all about.
It honestly, you have to reset. I do the reset, the questions, like every other week. I'm in a different place with it.
Yeah, like, why do we do what we do? And that's why you say, like, I've had people ask me, like, hey, Derek, I want to make this my career path. What should I do? And my answer is always, like, you just got to post about shit that you can't live without posting. Because then you're not relying on anything else to tell you to keep going. If I did this because I was after the views and the likes and the comments, I would have quit years ago.
Yeah.
So just find something you fucking love talking about and then just bring that to the internet.
Is a creative outlet. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's the only way to win. I don't think that you can win on purpose on social media because it's like, it's too authentic here. People come here for authenticity. Although you do get the accounts like I hate like the husband and wife accounts that do like the very scripted pranks. I can't believe the level of fucking stupid that it takes to believe that stuff. Like, because I'll click and read the comments. I'm like, you guys are fucking dumb, bro. Like, you're my neighbors. You guys vote. That's crazy.
There's a lot of dumb consumerism, and it's just a reminder. Like, when you'll find your people no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I wanted, like, my tribe will find me. I'm not going out and hunting for it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm the king of my tribe.
Yes. And that's what I've said to people where I'm like, oh God, I don't think like people, they'll see my page and be confused because I do a bunch of different things. And it's like, but the best compliment I get is, hey, I found you from this mini backpack video. And now like I am here for co-parenting and everything else. I'm like, that's just me. I show up as is every damn day. That's
the other cool thing about creating like multifaceted content is like, you create all these little tribes, right? Like, some people, I mean, started following me from the enterprise video. And then some people started following me because I talked shit about parenting. And then some other people follow me because this fuck this house thing. And there's some concentric circles, right? Like some people maybe don't resonate with the parenting part of it. But I get people that don't even have kids that are like, dude, I think your parenting shit's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Because everyone has parents, right? Even if you don't have kids, you had parents. You're the kid that I'm talking about.
And you can only imagine what it's like to raise humans. Last thing, what about your wife?
What about her?
What does she think of all this? Is she funnier than you? Is she as funny as you? Does she think you're funny?
That's a point of contention in our household. It's something that we're trying to work through on the definition of who's funnier. I know that I don't know if she's ever going to put me to task on it because she doesn't like the limelight. She doesn't like being on video. But she's funny. And it's different. It's new because she doesn't want this. And honestly, neither do I. Like, we were just talking about this morning. We were talking about Bobby Althoff was on the Forbes 30 Under 30 thing. And I did one of her podcasts before she did Drake and went out and sat with her. She's super cool. But I remember I came home and Brooklyn reminded me because Bobby wanted to be famous. That was when we were talking offline, fame. I want to be famous. I want to be rich and famous. And that has never resonated with me. I don't yearn for fame. I've always looked at fame as like a byproduct of being really good publicly, which I would love to do, right? Like, I love being funny. I there's parts of me that would love to keep growing as a comedian because it just means that I'm getting better and better and resonating with people more. But I'd honestly, if I could freeze 2024 and just keep redoing it, I'd be so cool with that. Like, just getting to travel the country and do small shows. But she doesn't like the big, like the lime, like people will come up to me in public and, they're messaging me and she's like, I don't like that. But
it does. It is. I could not agree with you more on there's a level that I'm willing to get to and nowhere above that, nowhere beyond that.
I think it was Stephen Colbert recently said, like, there was a moment, I think he was either like a correspondent or writing on The Daily Show. He was like just barely recognizable. Like, he could still go to the store and get stuff and be fine. And then there was like a snap where it was like, he was like, I can't go anywhere now. Like, I can't.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Because you'll have people, I'll have people in Target come up to me and I'm like, deep down, I'm like, what do my kids think of this? Because can you imagine that being like you're, 10 trying to just jam out
Oh
and
yeah, dude.
argue with
I
your
was
mom
at I
and
was at
people are like,
Dollywood in Tennessee with like all of Brooklyn's family, and this lady came out to me. She's like, "Oh my god, I follow you on so," and in front of her family, I was like, "Fucking slay, yeah, that's me, that's me."
that's hilarious.
I
Oh
love
my
it. I think
God.
I think it's cool. I heard a story. I think it was either a hockey player or a basketball player, professional would stay in the lobby of his hotel, and if there was a line of people for autographs, he'd sit there until everyone was gone. And someone in the team was like, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "Dude, one day no one's gonna want my autograph, and it's so cool to give that to them now that they want it." And I feel the same way, dude. Like if people, I fucking love if people
Yeah.
come up and say hi or hey,
Yeah.
will you sign this? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because dude, this could all erode next year, and I could have to
Absolutely.
go fucking kill myself.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's so flattering. It really is. It's just also weird for my kids. I try to like, oh, for their sake, I don't take much of it seriously.
Yeah, for me, it's usually traveling. Like I'm at an airport, we're at a bit, anything
Yeah.
with a large group of
Yeah.
people. Although last night I was at my kids. Was it last night? Yeah, my kids do jujitsu, and I've gotten recognized by a couple of the parents that go there.
It's
So
weird
then
when it's in your immediate community. You're
yeah,
like,
I just stopped
"Meh."
going. I just don't go there anymore because then it's like, all right, dude. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit here for a goddamn hour and shoot the shit with you. It's like I like sitting in silence.
I do too. I'm so antisocial, the most social person on camera, and then I'm like,
Oh,
no, I am so
I'm good. Give
antisocial.
me like 2 minutes or less. I will give you
That's what I
everything
mean.
you
Yes.
need.
Smile. Yes. Let's take a picture. I love you too. I'm so appreciative. I really am. But that like people are like, can you do a meet and greet? I'm like, hell to the motherfucker no.
I do meet and greets after every
No.
comedy show I do,
Well, I
and
would if
they're
I did a comedy show, but just a meet and greet. Like,
oh,
whoa,
first of all,
like a
the
set up
level
lunch
of
or
secondhand
something.
embarrassment I would get for you if I saw Nicki Marie.
No.
I'd be like, Joe.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to get over like, what if no one comes?
You know what I want to do is I want to do like you do stand up. I will do some type of mom something, and we rent out a roller skating rink and have like old school. I see you're how old are you?
36.
Okay, so I'm 47. Still, I'm sure we could get with some of the same 90s hits. But like,
Yeah.
I want to go 80s, 90s roller derby. I don't want anybody to feel like it's my show. I just want to go run an event that makes me feel like little Nikki, like 11
Just go out and
back
do
in the ring.
skating. I'll do comedy and then I'll
Yeah,
leave.
you do comedy. We have the happy hour type shit.
I'd literally rather kill myself.
You wouldn't want to do the comedy show for a bunch of ladies on roller skates?
But that sounds so crazy.
Yeah, it does. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you can't listen to comedy and roller skate at the
You know
same
what I
time.
want to do? I want to go to that. I don't want to host it. I want to go.
Yeah, I would MC for you.
Yeah, there we go. I think you'd be a great MC. I'm gonna think of you for.
I'd crush it. I'm gonna do the Oscars one day.
You heard it here first. I love this. You might.
That was a fake proclamation.
Yeah, but you might.
Dude, I'm almost I think I like overly humble myself sometimes because I know there are so many fucking people that want what we want.
Yeah.
Or want what we have,
Yeah.
or whatever. So many fucking people
Yeah.
are out there doing headline comedy. So many people are doing parenting content on the internet. So many people are acting, etc. It's like I like to keep myself on the railroad tracks because it's like, you know what, dude? If it comes, it fucking comes, dude. But I'm not gonna start placing goals because if I don't hit a goal, I'm gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna set a goal of like I'm gonna go fucking host the Oscars. Like, who the fuck do I think I am? Ricky Gervais? Like,
yeah.
Slow your fucking roll, dude.
I don't have a goal for this. I just wanna I want to create a lifestyle where I could be with my kids, do Disney the way we do it, fix my kitchen. I just got a new fridge. We talked about that.
I know.
How happy appliances make us. Like
Bougie.
mom and dad with the appliance rolls in, I'm gonna be on cloud 9 with that thing.
It really does.
Staring at it,
makes me unnecessarily happy to like replace and upgrade shit in my house.
Correct. That's you want the finances to be able to.
I want to work as little as I can and make as much as I can.
That's fine. Say it out. Say it even louder. I agree. Yeah. Anyway. But it's so lovely to have you. Happy holiday season. Anything going on in the Cahill household that we could close up with for this holiday season? Any little doodads?
A ravaging illness has taken hold of our family for the last 2 weeks.
I'm glad it's
I'm
for Christmas.
done. I had none of it. I was impervious to this assault on my family, which makes me feel terrible. Yeah, we're gonna be in DC for Christmas.
Okay.
That's like a little Cahill family trip, and then I've got one more comedy show left this year, December 18th in Rochester, New York. For all your
right, well,
Rochester, New
listen,
York listeners,
maybe 2025 I'll open one of your shows if you do Boston
you
again.
were invited in Boston.
I know I wasn't
you bailed
around,
on me.
but I did
I know
Zacharias.
you were in no, you were in Disney, I think.
I was at Disney April. Yes. But I did Zacharias show. I did a 10-minute opener. And just like you said, I was so nervous because I've never done stand-up. And once I got with that crowd, I was like, I want to hang out longer.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's addicting.
I
sure.
loved it. So yeah, sign me up. That will be our thing next year.
I'll be back in Boston, dude.
Okay. All right.
Fucking Slake
Closing
and
up
girl
shop.
boss.
Happy holidays, everyone. Go do the thing. Go watch the movie. Go make the hot chocolate. Sit on your ass as much as possible.
And tell your
take
nana to
in-
go fuck herself if she's rude to you.
And look at my tree. I'm going to trim
It's crooked.
that. Very crooked. Hey, listen, single mom life. I should have recorded myself lugging that thing off of my car, putting it in that stand alone. Have you tried to do that with no one holding it before?
You're just getting ready for a romantic Christmas movie scene to happen in your life where like you struggle to do something and some lumberjack comes over. He's like, Nicki,
I got you. Let me do this.
We
It's
went to
about
middle
time.
school together. Don't you remember me?
No, there's no one that I went to middle school or high school with that will be sliding through these back doors.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh.
He's going to shock you. This transformation will have happened.
I love it. Let's end there. I love it. All right, Derek. Thank you for your time.
Toodaloo.
That was funny. All right. Toodaloo, motherfucker.
That was funny.